And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie. How are you doing today? We certainly hope so. Me and Odie were discussing that, how you feel when you reach in your jacket and you find that $20 bill from last year you didn't know you had. Isn't that great? It's like a surprise.
Lottery.
Yeah, the lottery. Extra lunch today. Those little surprises in life, they happen, don't they? Welcome, everyone. We're glad that you're here, and we got to bring up a big subject here of fog. It is beyond foggy. You can't see. As a matter of fact, let's...
It's thick as pea soup out there.
Thick as pea soup. That's Odie's take on it. Let's go over here and look at radar. We need to show this before we get into anything else of just how bad it is. I urge you, if you've got to be somewhere today, leave it a little bit early to give time for all of this. As we pull back to this, get to our scene here. Wrong one. Almost there. As we pull up radar, Doc's Toyota, look at this, what we've got here in Lauderdale County. The entire county's over this, but you get into this western side, central portion, Highway 45, due north all the way to DeSoto, due west all the way over to Newton as we go southward into Jasper County. It is thick, thick, thick. As you'll look, it doesn't really lighten up a whole lot in between here and Jackson, but by the time you get to the stack in Jackson, it's going to be extremely bad. So if you're watching us from Jackson, Mississippi, we urge you to be cautious on I-20, and when you get to that 55 split there at the stack, it's just going to be horrendous all the way up to Ridgeland through these areas there on 55. Look how thick that is. Kosciuszko's got it. As we go northward, we get here, as we get into just about where Lake Teocata is, it's going to pick up. Let's zoom in on this. Here's Noxapater, and as you get here past J&S Food and out here by Shiloh Baptist Church. But as you reach the city limits here, as you go right past Lake Teocata and you get to Walmart at Louisville, it's going to get some kind of thick. Highway 14 over to Macon is rough. As we go north of there from Kentucky Fried Chicken out of Noxubee County toward Starkville, Columbus. Look at this. It's bad, even into the edges of Alabama as you be traveling I-20, 59 as you get up here near Birmingham. Y'all be careful. Lots of that there over in eastern Alabama as well. Thomasville, y'all know where that is, Monroeville. A lot of fog there as well. As we go to the deep south, as we go to the south end of this, Macomb, these areas around Brookhaven. And again, we're going to be under this fog advisory through about 9 a.m. is what's projected at this point. That gives us an outlook of what's going on there. It's thick. Kemper County has fog, but not as thick as it is west and south of Meridian at this point, and points northward of Kemper as you get into that Noxubee County side there. All the way back to Vicksburg. It's thick over at the river as well this morning. Here's a bird's eye view of the entire county, entire state. As you'll see, even in the Mississippi Delta, we've got some. Greenville has a lot. Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, all the way over to, you get near Douglas. It's thick, 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 thick. So that's an outlook of what we've got. Again, it's 58 right now, and there is a chance of showers today. We got about a 30% chance of rain somewhere between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Should kind of move out after that, but hot. There's no other way to word it. 78 is hot, isn't it? Well, that's what our projected forecast temperature is for the afternoon, is 78 degrees. We'll climb from 58, 59 where we are right now, depending on where you are, to that. Wow. A big day ahead of us. I hope we're all ready for this. We've got some headlines. What's going on in the world? A big, I guess you could call it, shock sent around the world last night of, no, you can't do that. Well, you've never tried it before. Let's try a new way. We'll tell you about that in just a moment here as we get this day underway. Right now, Collinsville. Let's get our good word. Let's get a prayer for the day, a meaningful message. Let's go to Collinsville First Baptist.
We have all been around that older person who has just lost their filter. They don't hold back their words. They just say whatever they think and don't give any thought to how those words are going to land. Now, it's not just older people. Maybe you've been around people who never have a filter, or they momentarily lose their filter when they get mad. Some real hurtful things can come out when we lose our filter. That's why the Bible says in Proverbs 29:11, a fool gives vent to his spirit, but a wise man holds back. Beloved, it's foolish to say whatever's on your mind. Words have power. They can build up, but they can also tear down. And once they're spoken, you can take them back, even if you apologize. Plus, not everything needs to be said. Just because something's true doesn't mean it's helpful or necessary to say. Furthermore, it might not be the right time to say it. Saying whatever you think can also incite needless conflict. Foolish people, they just say whatever's on their mind, but wise people quietly hold back their words. So choose your words wisely. Think about the consequences of the words you've chosen. Determine if what you have chosen to say needs to be said, and decide if it needs to be said now. Beloved, fix your filter so you'll be wise with your words. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that message. They'll be opening up the church doors this afternoon. Wednesday evening service. If you need a place to go, check that out. Let's see here. As we start headlines this morning, the crash that happened a few nights ago, where that helicopter crashed into the airplane. They've arrested 2 airport employees. You heard about this? They released a video from surveillance from the airport that they had no business doing. They've been arrested. Now, I don't know what the charges will be in the long term and how much time they'll get over it, but a breach of security without a doubt. Not good at all there. I can hardly believe that this could be true. They've got it in print. We'll see if more people agree with it. But a guy went to an auction a few years ago, sometime back, and bought a shawl that was involved in the Jack the Ripper. Y'all remember that? Those stories we've heard out of London for years of Jack the Ripper and how many people he killed. Well, he bought at auction a shawl of a lady that was killed wearing it. He's gone back and gotten DNA from a man that they thought was Jack the Ripper. He's gone to the lady's family that was wearing the shawl. 100% DNA match is what they're saying, and he now has proven who Jack the Ripper is.
Oh, wow.
Now, I guess this can be true. We'll see what happens with it. No other researchers have verified it, but DNA. And I can hardly pronounce this guy's name. Aaron Cosmis. I'm close to it. It's just pretty close to what the guy's name was that is supposedly Jack the Ripper. We'll see if more scientists agree with this or not. Could it be a mystery for millions? Well, not millions, but it's been a long time. It's incited millions of reading these stories of what happened with Jack the Ripper. A very bad guy.
Movies been made.
Oh, it's movie, books, and so on. You've seen that in the dark alley. Here he comes. Now, most of the family members are immediate family members. They've got descendants, but wow. Wouldn't that be something for that to be solved that many years later with DNA? We'll see if that's true or not. Ohio, boy, this is getting serious when people want the truth. Ohio taking a step forward as the elections chief has launched a portal granting citizens greater voter roll oversight to where you can see the voter rolls in real time each day. A change is coming in America, it almost seems. Let's hope it holds steady on all of that. Now, we've heard lots of talk how Donald Trump is launching an investigation into the FBI and what they've done wrong. There's even a group now that are trying to sue Donald Trump. But did you know? Let's use that pause there, that phrase there. 39%, y'all get this down, 39% of the FBI was put on the case of the J6 people. I was this morning watching the video of a lot of this stuff that, that was kept back, and the Senate kept pushing to have it released to where Americans could see it. Now, don't get me wrong, there were people that done wrong with this, that broke things and done things they shouldn't. But as one of the videos I watched, most were walking around inside taking pictures like, wow, this is the first time I've ever been here. 40% of the FBI were after these people. It went on for years. Donald Trump has asked for the names of each and every one that were on this case. What will he do? I don't know. But 40% was dedicated to that. Imagine what real crimes were going on across America that weren't solved. Just my 2 cents on that. Again, before anybody gets upset, were there people that probably done things they shouldn't? Yes. Were there plants in that crowd? Yes, we know that. Were there people from agencies there? Sure was. It's going to be a while before we get all the truth on this. We mentioned about them signing the lawsuit trying to sue there. I didn't even know this technology was out there. I want to show you a picture. This is from Daily Mail. This is a laser that is invented for United States warships. Look at this. Y'all see that? That's a laser that the government has come up with for our ships, and I think it never runs out of energy and will fire from 5 miles. My, oh my, oh my, technology is changing. That's stuff from comic books, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid. That is a game changer, deadly at that as well. There's no telling what's out there that we really don't know. We passed condolences this morning. Maybe you like him, maybe you love his golf game or not. Tiger Woods, his mother has passed away. We send condolences to him. That's a sad day for anyone to lose their mother. We certainly hate that. I watched this over. I watched it 4 times. Trump is sitting at his desk. Have we ever really had a president that on a daily basis there's a press conference where really and truly there's reporters in his office and they ask anything? And the reporter goes, Mr. President, are you aware that Biden has signed with a talent agency? He said, what? The guy goes, former President Biden has signed with a talent agency. He goes, He goes, that man's got bigger problems than that.
Well,
he did not know it. Wow, is all I can say. And how old is Biden? 82? Somewhere around that. A talent agency. I figured he would end it. What's the site that you can go to and pay $100? Some of them are more than that, to where they'll wish you a happy birthday and they'll email it to a friend of yours. It's a pretty neat site. I'll have to go back and find it. But you can hire an actor to send, like, your wife a happy birthday. I've seen Snoop Dogg's are high. His are $10,000 or so for him to send. But if you want to have that done,
those doorgrams or something?
it's kind of like a doorgram. But I figured Biden would do that. But it's a lot of money made off of that with celebrities and people that do that want a happy birthday wish from a celebrity. It's pretty neat. Y'all remember the name Daniel Penny? The guy off the subway? He's gotten a job. Silicon Valley has hired him. He's going to be a financial advisor. Boy, his world has turned around, hasn't it? He was facing life in prison, and now he's got a job. Still say the guy was a hero there that protected that woman there. Well, we have withdrawn from the United Nations Human Rights Council. The United States was paying for most of that also as we look deep into that. I never thought I would see a New York Post. Do y'all remember the New York Post, the newspaper? Headline reads, Trump win calls for law and order across the United States. And they're basically saying that's why he won, is people are tired of, criminals overtaking their cities. We've seen it left and right over the last 4 years. I won't show this video, but I've watched it this morning. Virginia. I think we've all heard of Fairfax, Virginia, haven't we? The police were called, and it was a setup. A 16-year-old called the police for an emergency. As police arrived in the parking lot, a young man jumped out with a knife and tried to attack the police. I think the police officer was wounded, but he was able to overpower the 16-year-old and slam him to the ground until the other cop could come and handcuff him. Now, that's bad when people try to do that. And my word to you is, if you're in law enforcement, be cautious. Never let your guard down on any call that you go to. And I know I'm speaking to the choir, but it becomes a routine. Like, each of us have a job every day. You do a certain task each day, and it becomes, your guard is down. You can't do that in that line of work, and this is just a prime example of what can happen. How could anybody even have those thoughts? A normal person. And I know you're going to say, they're not normal that do that. They're not. How awful it is. I see Smith County joining us this morning. Thank y'all for doing that. Glendale, Arizona. They're probably going to get a visit pretty soon, as they were protesting police. And it was the folks that weren't American citizens protesting, trying to break windshields. They can be helped out a little bit there, can't they? This was what I teased just a moment ago. This is we've gotten into a rut just because it's never been done. We say it can't be done. You ever heard that? Did y'all watch the joint press conference last night? United States is supposed to take over Gaza. Bulldozers are going to roll down through there, tear down the buildings, rebuild it, and be made basically, as they call it, a redneck Riviera. And the American public, the taxpayer, would make money back off of this. Imagine that. Y'all remember that Iraqi war that we went into? We spent billions upon billions, and, well, it was there for the taking to where you could have got a percentage of the oil wells to where it would have paid for all of that and what we do for other countries. And we just usually walk away. Not with this one. It's time to pay back, and we'll help you, but we're going to make something off of it. Imagine that concept. They're still in Washington today going, it can't be done. What was that? Hold my beer?
I see it. Watch this.
Watch this. It's different, I admit, but it just might work. Don't give up on it. RFK has proceeded to the next round. Will he make it? We'll see if he gets confirmed, but he moves to the next round. They said if one person had voted differently yesterday, it wouldn't have progressed. Wow. It held steady. He moves on. This has never happened, and I didn't know this. Never before has a United States president went to a Super Bowl game. Did anybody know that? I read a statement first earlier this morning around 2 that said that New Orleans will be the safest place to be. And I thought, yeah, right. And then I realized Trump was going, I thought, well, yeah, that might be true now. It's going to be secure. I did not know that no other president had been to one before. So good luck with that. As Arnold puts it, an international resort. Can y'all imagine that? It is beautiful country. And I don't have the story on this. And I have to say, he handled it very classy during that joint press conference. Did anybody watch any of that? It was a young lady that stands up, and as he points and lets most anybody ask a question. It's not only the NBCs, the ABCs, and people of that nature. He'll let each one have a chance. There was a young lady that stood up. Trump, with all his dignity, goes, ma'am, I don't understand a thing that you said. You got a beautiful voice, but I have no idea what you said. She couldn't speak English very well, and he handled it very gracefully and moved on to the next reporter. It's something to watch, but never seen that done before in a press conference either. Michael Jordan, do y'all remember him? They got troubles in the family. His son has just been arrested for cocaine possession, resisting arrest. It happened in Florida. I don't know how much he had on him, but it ain't good for the family, is it? Let's see what else we got here. As we were talking about police and the many different jobs that they handle each day, we truly, as an average citizen, don't know what they go through. It's tough, and sometimes when you call or bump into one, somebody might be grumpy. You don't know what they just went through. As we look at this, a call came in, a homeowner, and this also calls for you to be exceptionally careful at home. Let me see what state this was in. Wisconsin is where this happened. A guy calls 911 and he goes, there's something wrong. My door's been kicked in. By the time the police arrived, he and his puppy dog were found at the bottom of a staircase, stabbed to death in their own home. Again, who does these things? There's criminals out there. And for the average citizen, you can't imagine doing something horrific like that, can you? I can't. I don't want to harm anybody. But there's people out there for a mere $10 that would do that. They want something that's not theirs. They're either on some type of drug. Maybe they're off in the head. I don't know the causes of what criminals do. Maybe they're just downright mean. Be cautious. Be cautious. Be cautious, America. It doesn't matter where you live, whether it's Mississippi, Alabama, as we see here, Wisconsin. It can happen in any state. Do y'all remember not long ago to the west of here, between here and Jackson, it may have been Scott County, that lady that was attacked by that guy that broke into her house and burned her? Y'all remember that? Again, it just shows how close crime can be, just blocks from you on the rural route to the big cities. It happens. Never let your guard down. We live in a different world now than we used to. And I know, News travels faster than it did at one time. We can be on scene sometimes within a couple of minutes of something happening and telling you about it. Where years ago that sometimes took 3 to 4 days to arrive. Trump has left special instructions. Anybody heard about this? You know, it's rumored out there that Iran has put out an assassination plot against him. He has said, should something happen to me, I've left specific instructions for them to be obliterated. That's as bad as him saying, you see this picture? I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And trust me, he would do that. And I hope Iran is paying attention to what he just said there. A mother and a boyfriend. And again, I go back to, what are people thinking? I remember when I got married, my life changed. And especially as Dylan Ray came along. I became nothing about me and everything about my child. I didn't work for me anymore. Everything that I did was about my children. And Madison came along. Oh, we didn't have a lot of money, but what we did, we took care of our family. Can you imagine leaving your 2-year-old in the car while you go in a bar and drink for hours? Can you? They've been arrested. In Florida is where it happened. Again, I can't wrap my mind as to how someone could even think of doing that. But that happened in Florida. They've been arrested, and I hope they'll pay dearly for that. Now, I don't know if they've got family members that will take over, but you know as well as I do, child custody services are involved in at this point, and the child's no longer with them. They're not going to allow that. My, oh my, oh my, the tangle weave in America that goes on. I don't understand dark minds. I don't. We'll be right back with your weather forecast. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
And if you hadn't had a chance to read the comments, Bob just put it in plain mathematics there. 911, 15 minutes, 40 cal, 1,800 feet per second. As we check our forecast, let's get into that this morning.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Here's our look back on 2008. It was a warm day, 81, and we're getting really close to that today. 78 is our projected high. It was 1996. I remember that year well. It was 8 degrees. Burr, burr, and burr. As we look across today, 78 is expected high. And again, we're going to have those showers sometime between 11 and 2. As you get to about Wahala in Kemper County, it's going to be a little bit higher chance right there across where the Philadelphia Police Department is, and all points north toward Louisville into the Columbus area and Starkville to have more rain. And again, we could get some drizzle in Clark County as well as over Newton, but not as much as northward Philadelphia, northward and north of Wahala, Mississippi. So that's what we're looking at in the northern end of that. As we glance over to Alabama, light showers could happen as well there in Demopolis, Tuscaloosa, some, but Fayetteville, Alabama, y'all going to get a little rain today. Auburn looks to be kind of cloudy. As we look at this is what's happening now with this areas of dense fog this morning. We're at a level 2 in the Meridian area, and it is very thick, anywhere from a half mile to a quarter mile, depending upon where you are. You can't see. Keep those headlights on low beam no matter what you do. All this is basically across the state today. We do have some thick areas here in the East Mississippi side. As we glance for this for the next 6 to 10 days, you see that warm area there north of us, cooler. As we see 78 today, 78 tomorrow, 79 Friday, and y'all look out. Saturday, we cross the line, 81 degrees in February. Somebody say, help me. We'll lose about 11 degrees on Sunday, down to 70, 62 on Monday as rain moves in for sure as we get into Tuesday there. 60% chance of showers then. Now, as we move on, we'll get some 50-degree weather, but we're right back to the 70-degree weather. I'm starting to think Mr. Groundhog was wrong for a second. We hadn't made it to March yet, but we'll be watching this closely as we see 60s and 70s through at least the 19th of February. Wow. As we look at our best chances of fishing today, let's hit it. Our wind's going to be south-southwest 5 to 10. As we look at our major times, it will be sometime this afternoon, about 5:30 till dark 30. You've got a minor time to fish there, about 10:30 till 11:30 today. Sunrise happened at 6:45 this morning. Have y'all noticed each day this keeps backing down a few moments with sun coming up sooner? Sunset a little bit later as well. 5:32 p.m. is when we're expected to have sunset this afternoon. We're getting about a minute a day. That's not bad at all. As we go back to, let me show you radar one more time before we go to our next show. As we pull this up, look at the fog that we have throughout the area. Reminding you to leave home a little bit earlier where you've got to be. Vicksburg, extremely thick right now, North Mississippi. All of this area around Louisville, northward to Starkville, all around Macon, Mississippi. And here in the Meridian area, that southwest corner is extending southward into Clark County, Jasper County, and all along I-20, almost all the way to the Scott County line. You're going to have about 10 miles on I-20 as you get to the Scott County line, and you'll get to that next rest area spot there, and it's going to be heavy fog all the way to Vicksburg, even over to Ruston, Louisiana. So our big encouraging words of the day, be careful and drive slower. We'll be back in about 2 minutes as we'll start the morning show. We're going to get everything going. Coffee, you get yours, we'll get ours, and we'll see you in just a couple of minutes.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.